Yeah.
Um, Go ahead. You want to explain this?
Well, I mean, the Federal Reserve, the FOMC, they got up there and they whatever they do, they burn some incense and
Cut a chicken
depending
head.
on the way, and the way the smoke blew up, that determined what the policy is here. So they cut the benchmark by 25 bips, so a quarter of a percentage point. And this is the first rate cut since December. So immediately when that happened, Bitcoin dipped almost 115K, and the stock market also seemed to have a delayed reaction, or an immediate down followed by up. So we're now, as mentioned, above 117K on Bitcoin, and the stock markets are pushing all-time highs once again. So the market's interpreting this as bullish. And then, as you've noted here, David, from Merlin the trader, he's posted this chart, which just notes that after a rate cut, the price of Bitcoin tends to pump. So he's got this on the left, a rate cut from September 2024. Shortly thereafter, Bitcoin went from around 54K to over 100K.
Good Lord.
Now we've got the rate cut. We're trading at 117. Yeah.
Yeah. I would also note, though, that to me, the fact that it's September is important, because there is also this kind of seasonality thing involved. I think Q4 tends to be a pretty good time for Bitcoin and crypto. So it just adds further anecdotal evidence, or kind of not exactly what's it called? It's not rigorous, but again, it does seem to lend credence to the fact that we could be in for a good Q4. As an aside, Graham, I think was really surprised to hear you say bips. I swear there is a video of you on Token Narratives saying at some point, "I hate people who say bips. That's a ridiculous thing to say."
Yeah, no, I said it ironically.
Oh, okay.
Didn't you notice that?
Did
you just see the smirk on my face when I said it?
Well,
25 bips.
Yeah. I also thought it could be just you're proud of yourself for using the financial lingo, bro.
All right, speaking of financial lingo, let's get into Bianco research, Jim Bianco's deeper take on what this all means. David, could you explain what this guy's even talking about? There's a lot of words here. Something about dot plots, and I don't know.
Yeah, so I mean, I think the overall message of this post is just that the composition of the FOMC, you basically have the what's it called? You have Powell, and then you have all these other governors, I think is what they're called. And ostensibly, on the surface, it matters kind of in a democratic way what the composition of the vote is. But in actuality, it only matters what Powell wants, right? And so, but how the whole group votes can make markets feel confident or not confident. So you have kind of these two dynamics. Number one, just on a pure what's it called? Decision-making process. It's basically controlled by one individual. But then if there's conflict within this group of governors, that can make markets skittish, or it can make them feel very comfortable. And so it's very, very, very rare for the FOMC members to disagree, at least publicly, right? Like you had to have the votes kind of be split in any meaningful way. Anyway, so that's all to set up what Bianco is saying here. This really does look like the FOMC doesn't really know what they're doing, and people wildly disagree. Now, the actual vote, the top line vote was, I think, 11-1 in favor of the basis cut. Even that alone, 11-1, shows you that there's a lack of confidence, because usually there's a unanimous vote one way or another, and then maybe in some of their opinions, the people who wanted to dissent give some opinions and be like, I didn't really think this was a good idea. Anyway, so you have 11-1 vote, but then also they release these dot plots, which is what each person thinks their prediction for where interest rates are going to go in the future, right? As in, like, are there going to be more cuts this year? Are there going to be less cuts? Is it going to remain flat, or are there actually going to be hikes? And this is another way for these individuals to signal to the markets where they want things to go or where they think they will go. And usually these dot plots are fairly consensus in terms of they all kind of crowd around the same projections. This is not the case for this, right? So I'll just reading a little bit from what Bianco is saying. One member of the FOMC thinks the Fed is going to hike rates this year. One member thinks it's going to cut 1.25%, 125 basis points this year. 5 cuts over 2 meetings.
That's 125 bips.
Damn, you sound so cool. And so the overall feeling from this is that while on the surface there's consensus, it shows that the FOMC is deeply divided, and they really don't agree on what the future path of this. And that should make market participants a little fearful, because that's uncertainty, right? You're basically showing that there's this kind of like baked in uncertainty. So that's one part. And then the other part is Powell using this term risk management, to describe why there was this cut. So I think it was at Jackson Hole, he said that we're going to be, what did he say? We're going to be
data dependent.
Data dependent, right? We're going to go back to being data dependent. Well, now, a short time later, we're talking about risk management, right? This is why we're doing this cut, risk management. And it's kind of, again, showing some inconsistency within the FOMC. They don't really know or aren't sure what's going to happen next. Again, this should make markets feel like there's less certainty. And risk management is kind of like a hand wavy thing. It doesn't really mean anything. It's seemingly. And so the Bianco thinks that this is basically Powell giving Trump what he wants, which is a rate cut. Powell doesn't think there's any good reason to have a rate cut, and so the reasoning he's providing is risk management, right? Which is just this kind of ambivalent term. And so that's, again, the overall message, I guess you could say. I haven't been very clear with this. Is just kind of uncertain.
So maybe you could argue that Jay Powell is kind of signaling to his base, or like whatever, because he's anti-Trump, right? He's like, the whole thing is so politicized. He's kind of signaling that, I'm doing this, but it's only because Trump made me.